As you get older, you realize that there's few people that you can really, truly, actually rely on. Someone who's not going to let you down, someone who you can count on every time. In my life, there's one person that I can count on, who I know I can always rely on, and who will never ever let me down. That person is Jason Newsted, former bassist for the band Metallica. Or at least, so I thought, until last week. Like a lot of males of my generation, I first discovered Metallica around the age of 13 or so. And even after I abandoned heavy metal, probably at about age 14, Metallica still held a special place in my heart. And still does to this day, even now as a parent. With kid CDs taking up more and more real estate on my CD shelf, there still is room, and there will always be room, for Metallica. It's something we'll share as a family, together. But only Metallica albums were released pre about 1991, because after that the band really kind of fell off. They also performed what for me is the cardinal sin for the rock band. A sin so severe that it's my belief that should a band commit this sin, that they should automatically be sent to a penal colony on an island somewhere in the South Pacific, where they can live for the rest of their existence with all the other crappy bands who have chosen to do what Metallica did. That is, release a symphonic album. But they redeemed themselves somewhat with the 2004 documentary movie Some Kind of Monster. The movie chronicled the 2+ year process of making their last studio album, which is definitively, I think, their crappiest album ever. The movie, however, was amazing. It showcased maniacal rock star egos gone haywire.
It doesn't. I think it's fucking stock.
Shed light on the band's creative process.
So a little more solid then.
And featured a bevy of really bad sweaters. Most of them worn by the band's therapist, who was hired to keep everyone's egos in check and facilitate discussions where everyone talks about their feelings.
I'd like for us to be able to resolve that, but maybe we can't.
What this movie did was cement my admiration for Jason Newsted. Because before the recording of the album began and before the movie, Jason quit the band. And in our opinion, and I say our because I mean myself and also the 13-year-old version of myself, we both thought that Jason left with his integrity intact. In our opinion, he won. And he clearly came off in the movie as the better guy. And I totally respected that. I thought, here's a guy who answers to a higher power. He answers only to the rock gods. Fame, fortune, it doesn't really matter to him. He just wants to rock. He just wants to rock. And that's why we thought he was a guy that we could always rely on. Until I turned on the TV last week.
I'm Brooke Burke, and this insanity is Rockstar Supernova.
For those who may not be familiar, Rockstar is pretty much like American Idol, only way more embarrassing to watch. That and the winner gets to be in a band with a couple of washed-up rock stars and the formerly infallible Jason Newsted.
I have to close my eyes in order to enjoy your voice.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
This was Jill Joya coming out of her box.
And what I'm left dealing with, oh God, please, no, oh. Why did Jason Newsted do this? He doesn't need the money. Gilby Clarke, he needs the money. But Jason? And so as a result, I've lost my faith in humanity. Because if you can't count on Jason Newsted, who can you count on in this world? As for the 13-year-old version of myself, he thinks the show sucks. He also just voted for Zaire 30 times using his Verizon wireless telephone, and he can't wait to see her compete next week. That is, if he happens to tune in.